No. Hi. Hey, Joe. I am so excited. I'm doing really good. We are right on the dot. Ian just had a presentation and everyone had a lot of questions. So get yourself ready. We have everyone so excited to be around. So
awesome. Looking forward as well.
We're going to have, first before, we're letting viewers come back in because we're using different links. Hi, Ramon. We basically, I know so many people know about you and who you are and what you're doing. Just take 2 minutes to tell us a bit about who is Joe Burton, what do you do, and yeah, go ahead.
No, I appreciate it. Again, thanks for having me on. I know it's a ton of work putting these things together, so we really appreciate it. So I'm the owner of ROI Marketplace. We are not actually affiliates. We are a digital ad agency, but our main focus has always been on, native marketing. I've been in this business, gosh, about 15, 16 years now. Got my start at a company called Pulse 360, which was really one of the early innovators and adapters of what is now content marketing, or was content marketing now is now native marketing. Basically, we put text-based sponsor links on publisher sites, MSNBC, MarketWatch, Street, and that's kind of evolved into the current culture we know as native today. So we built ROI because a lot of brands, a lot of affiliates, a lot of companies, we're doing really well on Facebook, but we're really struggling to kind of make native work for them. So we decided to build an agency that specializes in that. So we're in this all day, every day. Got a pretty good feel for it. Today we're going to talk about some kind of key points we use for our campaigns, but yeah, excited to be on board for sure.
That's awesome. We have a lot of people on. Joe is the best. Hello, excited for this. Yeah, we're super excited also, you guys. And we're going to let Joe do his thing. He was so wonderful to prepare some slides for us. And then I promise we'll go through the questions because I know a lot of you specifically woke up early to make sure you get Joe here. So yeah, show us what you have prepared. I am so excited.
I've never used this platform before, so I'm assuming I just share
my screen. Not a worry.
Screen.
Yeah, just share screen, and then I'm gonna make sure it's viewable to everyone. So let me know when the share screen is ready.
Alrighty, I'm gonna share it now.
Beautiful. And there you go.
All right, beautiful. Start my slideshow. All right, so we'll talk briefly today. I've only got about 15 minutes of content max. I thought we'd kind of focus more on Q&A and some back and forth. But so the goal of this is going to be can you really test and figure out a campaign on a $500 test budget on native, right? People ask me all the time, what kind of budget does it take? How much do I have to spend to test on native? This is going to help you determine if the campaign is going to be a winner. And obviously, hopefully, then you can get it to that next level. Again, a little bit of background on me. Been in this business a long time, spent well over $100 million on native. That grows daily. We've ran campaigns right from small local organizations up until a presidential campaign ran a couple of years back. So we're in this every day, all day. We're pretty familiar with the content, how things work, and again, we live and breathe this stuff. So briefly, for those that don't do native currently, maybe you built your business around Facebook, maybe you built your business around, Pops or anything like that, email. What's the benefits of having a native campaign or a native strategy? One of the biggest points behind me is it greatly is going to increase your first touch clicks. This is a great way to introduce your product, whether it's an affiliate product or something you own, to a whole new audience that maybe have never seen you before. You can build content pieces around that. It's going to help you get more people into your sales funnel. I know Ian kind of covered this stuff as well, but from that sales funnel, you can start to develop remarketing strategies, push strategies, email strategies, right? There's just so much you can do with it. It's going to get, again, your campaign of a lot of new people. The scale on it is pretty massive. I really don't know of too many sites that are legitimate in the country and the world that don't have some kind of native ads on there. They're just mainstream now. They've kind of replaced display ads. So any campaign, any site in the world's a pretty massive reach to have. This kind of follows up to the first point, but it boosts up your Facebook remarketing in a huge way, Google remarketing, et cetera. You're driving pixels on people's pages, driving more reach, and obviously increasing your campaigns there. I know 9 times out of 10, my best campaigns on Facebook are always remarketing campaigns. And if you can get more users in that funnel for a cheaper cost per click, it's going to only help things out.
Yep.
Demographic and behavior targeting. This is important. A couple of years back, there was none of this involved, right? Facebook was so great because you could pick out, men, women, income levels, homeowners, non-homeowners, likes, dislikes, and a great demographic targeting strategy. With native is a little more spray and pray. Well, native has actually evolved to a point now where networks like Taboola are actually offering you behavioral data. I'll admit it's not as good as Facebook is, but it's getting there more and more every day. And they're also now allowing you to actually layer in lookalike targeting audiences and other things that are hugely beneficial. Again, it's not where Facebook is, but it's getting closer every single day. And then, the last couple points are just stability. I see a much more stable environment for all of our marketing. That includes Facebook and Google when we have a native strategy kind of going with it as well. It just really helps to make things convert better and drives in more users. So the top native networks that we use from a DR standpoint, and this is again geared towards affiliates, for this presentation.
Love it.
Taboola, Outbrain, and Rev Content. Gemini, maybe we can put in there. Gemini is a little bit harder to see stability on. We have great days and bad days there. But Taboola and Outbrain, which are of course merging into one network now. Right. And then Rev Content. I don't know if you guys bought a lot of Rev Content, but a couple of years ago, man, I couldn't get anything to work there. And now they're a legitimate networks. We do a lot with those guys now. They got a lot of great local news traffic, et cetera. They're very easy to optimize. So, and then other ones as well, but those are the top 3.
Yeah, I'm so glad you chose those because a lot of the affiliates watching, on our offers, those work really well. So it just happens to be like a good glove on what you're presenting. So thank you.
I'm glad. We buy on MGID, we buy on Content Ad, we buy on a lot of different sources, but those are part of my favorites. A lot of them is their API enable, which helps, which we'll cover in a second. But again, I think that's great. So you have a campaign, you want to figure out, is this something I should test on native? And here's a couple, key points that we look at when a new client comes to us. Number one, does the content have a good story? Is it a lead gen offer? If it is there a good story behind why someone should engage with that content? Is it an e-com product? If it is, why is there a good story behind it? Why does someone want to engage with user content written for that stuff? It's the number one thing we look at. Second point is clear call to actions. Is it very clear what we want to do with this product? Is it a cost per sale? Is it a cost per lead? Is it an email submit, right? What is the clear call to action for that campaign? Which for affiliate-driven campaigns is usually pretty clear, but other campaigns can be a little bit more, out there. Not too controversial. It's great to have a product that's, super unique, but if it's too controversial, you're gonna go through approval nightmares. You're gonna have to go back to the advertiser, back to you guys and say, can we get a page that doesn't say this? Can you get a page that doesn't have this on there? That's a nightmare to manage, right? A little bit of controversial is cool because it clicks. Too controversial, absolutely not. This is a huge sticking point for me is, can the CPA be broken down to inexpensive, actionable items? And what I mean by that is, let's say we're selling a high-end financial product at $200 target cost per sale, right? I have to spend a lot of money to optimize and dial in that campaign. Can I place a pixel somewhere in that sales funnel, whether it's on my side or on the the affiliate network side, to measure data at a much lower cost per action? It might be, a click from a pre-sale to an offer page. It might be an email submit. It might be a time spent on a video. There's a lot of things you can do there, but having some kind of actionable item as a first, status of optimizations is really huge. Does the product service a need? Sales 101 is sell to the need of the consumer, right? So does it sell to some kind of need that people are actually going to want? For an e-com product, the best things that we do are things that save people money, make their lives easier. Health products, do I feel healthier? Does it help me lose weight? Do I feel better about myself? What kind of need does it service? And then a quick talking point is that unique offers are always going to be the best. If there's 30 people doing the same thing as you in Taboola, and you're trying to break into that marketplace, it's going to be that much harder to make it work. Odds are they're dialed in, they've been there longer, their probably campaigns are optimized to an effective CPA. If you're going to break in with the exact same product and then worse off, you're going to try to steal their ads and steal their landing pages, it's very hard to make it work. So budget needed. And again, we get asked this question all the time.
Love it. Oh, yeah.
What do you need to spend on native to see if the campaign is going to work? Can you really determine something profitable on a $500 test budget? I think you can. I'm not saying you're going to be making money after $500. I'm saying you're going to know this campaign is going to work, and here's my next steps. The next $500 is going to make it profitable moving forward. This isn't foolproof. This can vary per campaign, but we have some quick talking points per network that I hope are going to make people's lives a little bit easier. So a couple keys. First and foremost, it has to have a pre-sale page. I don't care what you're doing. Maybe not for like a sweep submit or an email submit, but anything outside of that needs some kind of pre-sale page. It can be short. Some of our pre-sale pages are honestly 3 paragraphs long, if that. Some of our pre-sale pages are super long. They talk about the whole story behind the product, but you need some kind of pre-sale page. Second point, it needs an actionable item for under $20. That can be something, again, like a click-through, a page view content, a email submit, anything. Something that's going to be an actionable item that I can optimize around for under $20. And the lower it, the better. We're seeing a ton of people talking right now about campaigns that are pure email submits. So they might be selling a health product, but the initial campaign is only meant to garner email addresses. We shoot for $2. We drive them in at $1.50. They get a ton of content on their side. And then as Ian mentioned in the last presentation, you can set up a whole new sales funnel for that. But again, a key is you have to be able to optimize around something $20 or less. 3 is, I think, a pretty big point here. Do your research. Don't go steal people's stuff. Don't go say, this page is working, I'm going to steal his entire funnel. It's not going to work. Do your research. Put out the best content you can. Put some time behind it. Don't be lazy. Native is a media buying frenzy. It's not like, it's easy where you can copy and paste and blow it out. Do some research before you get started. If you rip somebody's page, you rip somebody's content, you rip their images, you rip their ads, and you put the ads out there, you're going to lose money. You may make their life a little more difficult, but you're going to lose money. And then my last talking point is being API enabled is a huge plus. We have used Brex. We've used Maximus. We currently use the Optimizer. They are my go-to. Having some kind of API to take some of the stress off your shoulders is a huge talking point, a huge selling point for me. I'm not sure how much you guys use or your affiliates use APIs, but I find it kind of hard without it, to be honest with you.
Yep.
All right, the setup. For $500, again, I have $500, and a media campaign, and said, here's how to make this campaign work on $500. Here's what I would set up for. I'd pick one network. My go-to is usually Taboola, maybe Rev Content. Outbrain I'm not quite as good on. But I'd probably pick Taboola as my personal preference. I know a lot of guys prefer, other ones, but that's probably where I would start. I would set my daily budget very low, $25 or less. Everybody tells you you got to spend money, you got to spend all this money to dial in a campaign. You really don't. If you look at the data, you look at it quickly, you can make a lot of campaigns work on a very, very low daily budget. Now, I always kind of treat it like Texas Hold'em poker, where the more money I'm making on a campaign, the more aggressive my future test can be. If I'm spending $5,000 or $10,000 on a campaign, I'll launch a campaign testing at $500. Who cares, right? But if I'm having a low budget campaign, $25 or less all day. We test on desktop only, usually to start, unless it's a mobile-friendly campaign. Some campaigns do better on mobile, but generally speaking, desktop traffic is more stable. We always put our bids very high out of the starts. 75 cents is the minimum we'll test at. We want to be top position on the best placements for our first test run. It helps us get the best data possible. Point number 5 is, if possible, layer in some kind of basic whitelist. Those that buy on Taboola routinely or Outbrain or Rev Content probably know the best IDs to start with. If you can layer that stuff in for the initial whitelist, absolutely do that. You can kind of do this through your rep, and if not, you can do it through a lot of APIs. And there's some tricks of the trade there that I can share later if you want. And then, point number 6 here is day part for your best hours. If a campaign works best from 8 till 8 Eastern Standard Time, start the campaign at 8 o'clock for this test. You can open that up later, but for your best data, start it off at the best hours. And feel free to stop if I'm going too fast here, too.
Oh no, this is wonderful. I'm just writing down because we're getting so many questions. Besides all the love, like Joe is the best, and we need to create a fan club. I'm just making sure we'll get through all the questions as soon as you're done with the slides. Because
Okay.
go ahead, this is awesome.
Yeah, I don't see any of the questions yet. I got to stop sharing my screen for that, so I'll do that in a second.
No worries. Yeah.
So again, Taboola tips. I have a typo here, but desktop only, starting off at 60 or 75 cents. I would always enable the smart grid approach for this. I was very, very, very against giving Taboola my data for a long time. And the reason being is I've always felt that if I get a campaign cracking and they can see all my conversions, I always see my competitors pop up a week later, and it really pisses me off. But the way things are migrating, you have to enable the pixels, you have to put things on there, and then you do a combination of auto bid adjustment by yourself, and of course, there's smart bid technology. If possible, I remove Pushnami and Publishers Clearinghouse and other sources I know don't work. I know you got to spend money there first to kind of find those, but after you spend a couple of bucks there, we kind of know which we don't want to be on initially. Now, quite honestly, we do have Pushnami and PCH working for a lot of campaigns, but for a new campaign, I don't want to test there first. That's something I want to test on just their best placements, MSN and so on. My setup are going to be 5 ads, all the exact same headline with various image combinations. I've always felt image gets the clicks, headline gets the conversions. So we're going to focus on what's going to convert the best and get our best CTR from an image standpoint. And then we're going to quickly pause ads with CTRs lower than 0.15. 0.20 to 0.30 is kind of our goal for all campaigns, but 0.15 is like the minimum we can have to be competitive. Again, there's a little bit of wiggle room there. There's some cases where this is a super high-end item. We can actually take a lower CTR and pay a higher CPC. But for the intensive purposes of this presentation, we're going to say 0.15. And then we're going to optimize for engagement first. And what I mean by that is we're going to look at that first actionable item. Usually for us is the click-through rate from pre-sale page to next step in the funnel. And we're going to automatically start blocking partners that don't meet our criteria. So the minimum criteria that we're going to take on most campaigns from a CTR standpoint, which is going to be, again, pre-sale page to offer page, is going to be like 0.15 or 15%. Anything less than that, we're going to block that pretty quickly. There's some campaigns we have as high as 30, 40, 50%, but 15 to 20 is kind of the minimum we're going to shoot for. So by doing this quickly, you're going to weed out the sources that aren't working, and you're going to see, okay, I have this select group of publishers, this select group of ads that are clicking through at this percentage points, and that gives you the data you need to be successful. Rev content, again, we'll do this for all 3 Rev content, Outbrain and Taboola.
This is amazing.
They're all pretty similar strategies.
I know, they're so great.
We're going to launch the campaign here again on native only, no push. Rev content's got great push traffic, so you don't want to start there. Rev content, sometimes we will target their mobile only because their mobile is really good. They've got all these local news sites with awesome mobile traffic on. But again, we try to do desktop only. We're still going to do the same headline with 5 images. We're still going to optimize for CTR and engagement first. And we're still going to turn off our ads after, or lower than a 0.15 CTR. Those are pretty consistent across all traffic sources. But one key point here is that, Rev content makes you spend $100 per day minimum. That's their minimum daily budget. However, if you have an API, you can have your API turn the campaign off after 100 clicks or so, which is going to basically be your $25 a day anyway. That way, you're not going to have to spend a ton of money. You spend your $25, you look at what happened, you make adjustments, and you turn things back on.
Awesome.
And then looking at Outbrain. So Outbrain has been my biggest struggle in the past probably year and a half. I used to be a really big spender on there, and a lot of the changes they made and some internal issues have caused my spend to go way down there. We kind of got it back dialed in now. We're starting to do pretty well there again. Again, you got to use our smart pixel. I was so against this for the exact same reason with Taboola. I felt anytime I got a campaign cranking, my competitors popped up doing the exact same thing as me. And, they had my ads, they had my whitelist, and I had to, basically rebid for my same placements. A couple of years back, the API could override everything they were doing. Now to really use the algorithm carefully, you have to unfortunately use their pixels. It'd be like bidding on Facebook with no pixel, right? I mean, you couldn't do it effectively. We separate mobile and desktop, of course. We start off desktop only, which is pretty common for all of our campaigns, and kind of make it work. We do use their semi-automatic bidding, which allows us to basically have Outbrain someone adjust our pixel or our bids. We can also override it. Other than that, the next 2 points are the exact same. 5 ads, same headline, different images. Pause ads that are lower than 0.15. That's pretty consistent across all of our campaigns. And then we're going to monitor the pre-sale and shooting for 20% CTR. That's our actionable item. Couple points here is, be wary of some of their biggest publishers. CNN is a huge name. You see them in your data, like, I want to be on there all day, every day. It's kind of weird quality. I'm not going to say we don't make it work, but I'm saying you might not want to be bidding 65 cents on CNN. It may not be the best placement for you. ESPN is similar. I think they actually lost ESPN, but placements like that are huge names aren't always going to be the best traffic for you. So you got to watch that. And then, of course, like anything else, you're going to adjust by section based on your EPCs. And then, which is super cool, is you can start doing lookalike targeting and building your audiences inside of Outbrain and doing remarketing as well. So I covered that super quick, so we'll cover most of that in Q&A. But any questions at that point? It's all pretty easy.
That's fantastic. No, it's really good. I feel like everyone was taking screenshots. It's really good information. I love it.
Awesome. So these are the optimization strategies that cover all traffic sources, right? We did cover some of these already, but we're going to come back through them. One, optimize for engagement first. I've spoke about this 1,000 times, and I say it every single time. Don't optimize for CPA, optimize for your engagement, which is the highest actionable item. 20% CTR, we're shooting for as a minimum standpoint. So point number 2, on a $500 budget, we want to cut unknown sources. If I log into Outbrain and I see some weird source like, Joe B's cooking dog, blog.com, I may not want to be on there for testing. I may want to test them later, but I don't want to test them on a small test budget. I just don't want to lose money out of the gates. Focusing on ad CTR is, of course, a maximum. 0.20 is a minimum we want to shoot for. 0.3 is great. You can start to see your bids drop substantially for that. You start seeing your bids below, or your CTR below 0.2, then you start bidding 65, 85, 90 cents for desktop traffic. That's hard to make it work. So once a source hits 2 times the actionable CPA, we cut it. So if I say we're doing an email submit, $1.50 is my target, I spent $3, no conversions, I cut that source out. I may come back to that source later. I'm just cutting that source out for my initial test campaigns. Once I have my campaign scaled, then I may go back in and start to test those sources I cut initially to see if I can get more scale with them in the mix. And then this is a huge one for us. We adjust our bids to the effective EPVs daily for every campaign we run. We do this at the campaign level as well as at the actual traffic source level or site level. So every single day at 8 o'clock in the morning, I look at my EPV for the past 7 days, and all of my campaigns reset to the exact EPV we're taking, which is your earnings per click, your earnings per page view. That helps campaigns not get too far out of control, and it helps us to kind of level the playing field on a day-to-day basis. So that's a huge deal for us. And kind of the conclusion, we'll get into Q&A. So again, your $500 test in most cases probably won't be profitable, but you should have enough data to be profitable. And the next 500, next 1,000, hopefully get you to that next point in your profitability. This is about quickly picking out winners. This isn't about, spending a ton of money and trying to find the best sources for the next 10 years. This is about finding the best sources for this campaign right now. So analyze, make quick decisions, don't overthink it. Even though CNN's running, a huge publisher, but you see it 3 times your CPA for this test purposes, block it. It's not going to work for you right now. Come back in, test it later when you're making money. It's much easier to play with house money than to lose money up front. And then you're going to duplicate those campaigns once they get profitable with new bids, just focusing on your best content. Another very important point. Taboola, Outbrain, if you duplicate a campaign without making any changes whatsoever, you actually skip the approval process. So you have to go back to editorial again. So if I had the campaign, I block my 3 worst ads, I block my 10 worst publisher sites, I duplicate that campaign and adjust my bids. Theoretically, I'm going to get a brand new evaluation period at a higher bid point, but skipping the whole, the whole content and going back through approvals again.
Well,
That's it.
I know I'm not playing favorites, but whoa, what a good presentation. I'm gonna go through some of the comments here. Can you see them on the screen as well?
I am just getting back to the screen now, so I don't see
Beautiful.
anything yet.
No problem. So right now we're just seeing a lot of love. Joe is the best. Hi guys. Hi, Joe.
I got a
Great
rail
to see
comments.
you. I know they're like coming in. Hi, hi. Oh my gosh. I think I was joking about the fan club, but
Come on.
so much useful information. I'm going through all of them in order because we have so many and I really don't want to miss some of the question. All right, so Farhan got one on Skype from one of our affiliates. He's in Japan, so he's just Skyping us. One of our affiliates has $300 a day to spend. Do you think with that budget, should he start with Rev Content, Outbrain, or another traffic source?
So it depends on what the offer is. If it's anything remotely aggressive, I would say start on Rev Content. And they're tough too, but if Taboola and Outbrain have the toughest compliance out there, maybe next to Gemini. I think Outbrain personally is the hardest to make work, so I'd probably start in Taboola if it's a very compliant, very white hat, very clean offer, and then I'm gonna go Rev Content. That's my opinion.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have, I mean, a lot of our partners, are live on our Rev Content with most of our offers. So I think that's a safe bet. And also you guys watching in and, just let the account manager know which traffic source you want to run, because we already know the offers, which are good for specific sources. Another question, how many offers should one run at the same time? So I think the question is, should I try testing 10 offers at the same time? Should I pick one? What do you do?
I mean, how much money do you want to lose, right? I guess is the question there. You're probably not going to make money day one. So, it's not hard to optimize campaigns on a small budget, so you're not like, spending a ton of time inside the campaigns making adjustments, but it's all about how much you want to spend losing. If it's something like an email submit, right? They're easy to optimize, very quick. I may launch 10 of those at one time. Again, we're agency driven, so it's a little bit different, but the same kind of mentality, right? So it really becomes down to your threshold for loss. If you want to dump a couple $1,000 in testing for a weekend because you can withstand that, by all means. If you want to be much more conservative, do one or two, and then scale once you got that, that house money to play with.
That's good. We have a question. Is it possible to launch a campaign for free and get results? We always spend money, so I don't know how you do it, but
I mean, kind of. So Ian covered some of this, right? So every campaign that we do, we're collecting push notifications, remarketing things on. So once we own that push data, theoretically, we can push out a campaign for free, right, to our subscribers and see how it goes. We don't collect email internally to use. We've got third-party partners who work with on that. Again, theoretically, once you've got that data in-house, you got an email address, you can push something out for free. Can you launch it on native for free? I wish, I mean, that'd be great, wouldn't it? To get a free test?
that would be great. What tools do you personally use to create pre-sales?
So there's a lot of them out there. We've tested ClickFunnels. There's Elementor. We use Wizzy. They're like my go-to favorite out there. We actually can give you guys a promo link if you want to blast it out. They're super useful, super easy to work with. So they're my favorite to work with by far. And we've tested a lot of them. So there's, again, I'm not a pre-sale designer whatsoever, and I can actually make a decent looking pre-sale page inside there. So
perfect. We see our internal media buying team. Make a note on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, if you want, I can send you a link. We can.
Yeah, please do. That would be fantastic, because we do get this question a lot, right? Because we always encourage our partners. I mean, it's okay to use tools to see what the competition is doing, but always create your own content, right? Do your own pre-sale, get your own images. So that's why it's so important to have the different tools people use, because I know there are a bunch of really good ones out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say we've never done it, of course, but the worst thing out there, in my opinion, is to steal your competitor's stuff. I just hate that, be unique. And here's how I put it. So if I see a competitor and we notice this campaign, he's spending a bunch of money on Taboola, I'm going to go in, steal his ads, steal his landing page, and steal his image. Okay, fine. I'm going to try to do that. Well, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to outbid him to get his placement from him. He's been slowly dropping his bids over days, weeks, months, or possibly even years to own that spot on MSN. So how am I going to pay more for him? He's probably got a better CPA targeting anyway while using the exact same content as him. What I want to do is find a better angle than him, build up the campaign and get a higher CTR, better converting landing pages, then of course make the campaign work at a much larger scale. That's how we do it.
Yep, that's fantastic. Kamashi is asking, do you see health offers still going strong? On our end, they seem stronger than ever. Yeah, that's for us too. This year, surprisingly, health offers have been doing really well. What about you? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I would say 40% of my business is built around health offers.
Nice.
We're very whitehead here, so nothing we do is going to be on the aggressive side of things. If you do still run aggressive dieting campaigns, you're not getting those into bull without cloaking. If you cloak, you're going to get in trouble and you're going to get shut down. It's not worth the headaches. If you have legitimate brands that are health related, all day, every day, make sure they're not too controversial. Like I said, things like, ED medications are really tough, but they can be done with the right angle on there. Keep your pages compliant. Don't put fake testimonials and fake doctor reviews and Shark Tank ads and all that stuff on there, because A, it's not worth the headaches, and B, it just mucks it up for all the people that want to be around here long term.
Yep, I agree. This is a good one. Ramon, what account level you use for ref content? I have it lowered to 2 and start from low bid to high bid. Do you use the same?
I think he means like their premium versus their everything account. We use primarily to start with their premium stuff, only because, again, it gives us that best, source of relevance, right? What is this campaign going to work on? Then we layer in that testing at a later point. Like push traffic, right? I don't want to test push traffic on raw content for my initial test. I want to test on the best sources, get the best data, and then I want to layer into the secondary stuff per scale.
Awesome. Sam got another question on YouTube, so I asked him to put it here. Do you use specific tools for creating good headlines?
We actually have an internal copywriter that just flips out new headlines for us daily. We try to test 2 to 5 variations of headlines per client per week. So we're always testing new headlines, new image combinations. Quite honestly, we do use some of the ad sniffing tools out there, and Strex, I think, is called as a current one we use. We used AdBeat for years, what runs where. That kind of gives us an idea for what's working. Taboola Trends is a great tool to see what's out there. And then from there, we try to adapt that to get a better CTR. It's amazing how the changing of one word, removing a bracket, adding a bracket, can really increase your CTR or decrease your CTR. It's important to always be testing.
Always be testing. We should make a t-shirt with that. Mattia is asking Joe, so when and how do you start lowering the bids on a desktop campaign? Let's say you start at 0.65, as you said.
Well, you might not ever have to lower them. So if I'm bidding 65, my EPC is 85, why would I ever lower that bid? I want to get it bid high for more traffic, right? If I'm losing money, I'm going to drop it a penny every 12 hours or so, based on the EPCs that we see. I know you mentioned the API enabled stuff that we do. So with the optimizer, for example, if the campaign is negative, I drop my bids by a penny every 12 hours. And then I reset those bids from an EPV standpoint, once daily on a new campaign.
Awesome. You're getting a lot of love. Great stuff. You're awesome. We love you. A few people said, I'll share my personal data for these slides. Where's the opt-in page? Well, guys, that's up to Joe. If we get his permission, the viewers today can get an email with them. That's 100%
yeah, you can take my slide. I'll send them over to you.
That's wonderful. So to all the guys asking about the slides, everyone who listened to this live today will definitely get them. All right, let's see what else. Joe. Perfect. For Taboola and or Outbrain, how do you start for targeting? Do you look at interest, geos? What do you do for targeting?
Yeah. So Outbrain, their targeting is a little bit more robust in terms of you can actually select, audiences and things, not audiences, but targeting tactics. So we'll start off with like a news category, for example. Again, a lot of that varies per campaign. So if it's a women's geared campaign focusing on women, we may pick some audiences or some targets and really could be a women engaged. Same for men and vice versa. If it's a financial thing, we're going to bid on our financial content over their sports content. So there's a lot of different things there. For Taboola, we normally start off ROM, just layer in our whitelist, the gates, or more of a blacklist, I guess, than a whitelist. So again, with the optimizer, we've got a rule set up where there's a certain handful of sites we never want to test out of the gates for any campaigns. Again, let's say it's Pushnami or PCH or some of their lower tier stuff. So we actually have it automatically blocked after it receives 5 impressions. So it's basically adding in a blacklist automatically. We do that really effectively, and then we go back in and retest those at a later date if it makes sense at a lower CPC.
That's really good. Thank you. Adam is asking, hey, Joe, when it comes to running e-com, do you typically work with direct advertisers or networks? If networks, which one are you liking for e-com offers?
Yeah, so again, we're built a little bit different. So we act on an agency model where an advertiser with an e-com offer will come to me and say, handle my native spend. We manage that for them, on a cost plus basis. So we don't typically shop around and pull in CPA offers and test them again. It's just not really my business. But obviously, Anna's got a great product here. I would definitely reach out to her first and foremost, of course. They've got some of the best offers out there, I know. And the shop around besides that, if they don't have something you're looking for, then find a network that does.
Exactly. That's, honestly, it's the best answer. And that's why we tell people to just do a bit of research, right? Because the reputation is out there. Ask in forums when you're not sure, who to go with. Just ask. Affiliates are going to tell you their experience. Agencies are going to tell you what they do. So it's going to be easy to figure out who you want to work with.
Yeah, I would assume they can come to you too and just say, hey, we're looking for an offer that does this. Do you guys have one? And you can go out, and if not, you got BizDev guys and go out and find that offer as well.
Exactly. I mean, we have wonderful partners. We are very specific about, we do health, usually cleaner, white label, with like stuff we run on native and then e-com. But if someone wants a financial offer, we know someone in the space whom we can send them to. So,
yep.
Gore is saying, have never done native. This is incredible. With using this strategy, is there a particular niche to ideally get started with? I want to say health.
Yeah, health is really good. If you've never done it before, I would do something simple like an email submit. Email newsletters for health are really good for this. You can run a campaign talking about, maybe it's heart health, that's an email opt-in, where you can get data for like $2 to $3 per opt-in, right? So super easy to optimize. Health always works great for us. It can be a little bit of a pain in the butt with ad networks, depending on what you're running, because they're always going to have some issue, some small change you have to make. The best thing about native versus Facebook is they actually tell you what the hell you have to change. They'll look at the page and say, update this wording, add this disclaimer, and you're good to go, as opposed to Facebook where they just turn your account off.
Yep. Maradine, with $500 budget, when we can hit the break even, assuming everything is going well, ideally.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, the next 500 you're breaking even or making money. There's never absolutes. There's been campaigns that we've launched that were profitable the first day and never lost money a single day in their lives. Those are great. They don't happen often, but they are great. There's campaigns I went in the hole pretty big on and pulled our way out of it. It really does vary. Usually you can get a pretty good gut feeling though after the first $500 or so.
Awesome. Arinzi, thank you for your comment. Definitely for all of our partners, we're going to have the replay. So for sure. Well, Brian has a really important question. How is it possible for Joe Burton to keep getting sexier and sexier?
Oh man, good old Brian. Just trying to keep up with him. Brian, I go way back. He was actually my former boss.
I know, we love Brian. It's a community of good friends here. But that's a valid question. I don't know. It's you're in New York now. It's the Eastern vibes, I think. Must be. I mean, all joke aside, I think it's the kindness, right? If you're a decent, kind person in the industry, it's super easy to be successful because you're going to have people backing you up.
I appreciate that. And honestly, it's I think we're almost too nice sometimes. We've given back, too much. It all comes back around, and I can't. We've been very blessed, so I can't complain at all.
Absolutely. Mattia, great, Joel. Also, do you see a boost in performance passing conversion back to rep content as with Taboola?
We do. And again, I was really against it. I actually spoke no more than 18 months ago at a conference and said I would never give them my data. And I started to see my campaign slowly getting pushed out by guys that were doing it. And I realized you have to pass that data back at this point. So I was against it, but it absolutely sees a boost, and it's not going to change anytime soon. And again, it's like bidding in Facebook without any pixels on your page. You can make some money at it, maybe, but that pixel does all the magic for you. So yes.
That's awesome. I'll let you reply to this one because we don't do a lot of dating offers. Taboola Outbrain and Ref content, which one would be best for dating offers?
So we don't do any dating either. I would stick to push for dating though, especially anything remotely aggressive. You're probably going to do best with a push traffic. If it's very, very mainstream, not risque at all, you can probably get approved on Rev content. I don't think they have issues on Taboola or Outbrain, but anything that's going to be remotely in that gray area, they're probably not going to allow.
Awesome. Thank you for answering. And Farida, thank you for sharing the link to the Wheezy, the tool that Joe was telling us about earlier. That's awesome. Does the top performance creatives of Taboola will give us the same best performance on Outbrain, the Ref content, or MGAD?
It's generally a pretty good starting point. There can be a little bit of volatility there, but generally speaking, yeah, you're going to get a pretty good starting point for that. Absolutely.
Awesome. This question is from our Skype chat. Do you see specific trends for the remainder of the year and next year? Because, Haran earlier and Ian, and, we all see a few different things. We do see a trend with health doing well, but what else? What are you seeing from your end, right? Because your perspective and actually being in the US might be different from what we see in Europe.
Yeah, so finance has been big. Alternative investments has been really big. Anything lead generation has been really big. Lead gen is actually my favorite thing to optimize. I love working with the lead gen strategies. I think it's just the easiest thing out there to work with. So those campaigns are huge for us, and staying topical, so obviously with all the things going on in the world right now, what's going to best service those needs and what's going to, really remotely help that out. We saw a financial campaign that was based around the market crashing and kind of what people should do with their money absolutely blow up, right during, the peak of this COVID stuff. It went from 0 to 100 overnight. And it was just because it was so topical. Now, what's interesting is as the market increased and got better, the campaign's performance kind of topped off because obviously it wasn't as topical anymore. So staying topical is hugely beneficial and putting that time in to find campaigns that are built around topicals. Obviously, if you're in the weight loss field, December is not your best time to advertise weight loss. People are holiday season; they don't care as much. Bikini season comes back around in the spring. People are caring about their body image again. Skin creams, you get drier skin in the summer or in the winter months, sometimes during the summer. All those little factors, understand the trends and not making knee-jerk reactions without doing your research.
Awesome. I love it. Have you tested DSP service from volume, for example, or do you run direct with the traffic source?
We tested a lot of them. Great way to touch base a lot of traffic sources for very easy access. Understand you're getting low priority and you're getting marked up a little bit. But we bought on Volume, Centro, Zemanta, you name it.
That's awesome. How effective is the automation tool like Optimizer.io, Brax, and more for native campaigns?
Yes, we did touch about this. So I personally think you can't play native at scale without having some kind of API. There's too much going on. There's too many sites in there. There's too many variations that can happen. So if you're launching and optimizing more than a handful of campaigns per day, you're just giving money back. So I think it's hugely, hugely beneficial. They're all set up a little bit different. Like Maximus, for example, I know you just plug in your target CPA, get some thresholds, some loss thresholds, some gain thresholds, and they kind of do the rest for you. Optimize, you tell it what to do. Basically, you tell the campaign how to operate, and they just operate for you. And I think Brax is more similar to Optimizer, where you tell it what to do and it optimizes for you. But I really think that you have to have some kind of API to optimize at scale.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. What is the number one myth in our business?
They got to spend a fortune to get data. I hate that. When I take on new clients, they always tell me, oh, we got to spend a ton of money to get data, right? And we're compensated on percentage of ad spend. So it's my best interest to spend more money for you. I tell people all the time, I'd rather have you begging me for more traffic than begging me for a refund. I think you can start off very slow in a campaign, be patient. I'm not going to say I haven't been aggressive and lost a ton of money in a campaign. I thought it would work, but be slow, be patient, and be diligent. You don't need to give a lot of testing budget out to find something that's going to work for you.
That's awesome. That's actually a really good one. Thank you. Is it best to pause widgets or lower the bids? And
Depends on
does
the, oh, sorry, make a chat.
and does day parting work for every vertical?
So part one of that is depends on your engagement rates. So if the CTR on the widget is, let's say, 5% and my target's 20, I'm probably going to block that, at least for my initial testing and look back at later. But 0%, I'm definitely going to drop it or pause it, right? Now, let's say my engagement rate is 22%, but I'm not getting any sales. I'm going to slowly drop my bid down because if people are engaging on that widget, they're just not buying from that widget yet, but they may catch up. So it really depends on what that initial actionable item is and how far off from that you are before you make that decision. And day parting, no, it varies by campaign. If you ran a sleep campaign, people struggling with sleep, you wouldn't run it at noon. You'd run it at 11 o'clock at night. If you're going to run a campaign for how to get going in the morning, it may be good to run it at 6 a.m. So it really depends on the campaign and understanding the data behind it. I'd imagine you guys got a lot of that in-house on your side, but they can probably ask their AM, what are the best hours for this? They can probably start off with at least a basic time frame on there.
100%. And I'm so glad, you said something about this. Everyone listening, new partners that don't work with us yet, how Joe said, always ask. As an affiliate, to be super knowledgeable, it's okay for you to ask for the demographics. What are you seeing? What's the best part of the day? What are the best countries, best interests for the audience? Because, obviously we want you to be successful. So we want to share that information. So I'm really glad that you said that.
Yeah, I think it's important for them to realize that their affiliate manager is making money if they spend money. So, it's their best interest to do everything they can to spend as much money as possible, because I'm sure they're compensated with some kind of commission structure. So they want to see them make money.
That's awesome. I completely agree. And, one of the myths that I'm seeing is that, affiliate managers will push any offers. Well, it's not true. I know they usually want to push the best ones because if you make money, everyone makes money. So
it's a waste of their time.
Really,
it's a total waste of time to push an offer. It's not going to work.
Exactly. Ebot is asking, what's your preferred traffic source for skincare products?
If it's going to be a very white hat offer, I would stick to Rev Content and Outbrain. They both do allow it as long as it's done properly. Content ad can be good as well. Taboola can get approved, it's a little bit tougher. If it's more of an aggressive offer, stick to push traffic. Zero Park, Propeller, things like that. You'll probably get approved there, and there's plenty of traffic to be had.
Really good answer. I agree. Doug is asking, have you tried a tracking tool like Landing Track that has built native API access and you can set up automated optimization rules?
It's basically an API. So we use Volume as our tracker, and if you plug that into Optimizer as our API, I know some tools are migrating to do both of that from one threshold. I think Maximus, for example, is both, but you can't, I don't think, test campaigns outside of their chosen few. So I've never tested Landing Track. I've heard about it. I had a call, I think, with a rep there, never got, to the next steps, but you're basically saying an API, which yes, we do.
Awesome. All right, Master Rooney, email campaigns versus ads organic traffic. Which one is better to start with? Limited budget and limited time to spend daily.
I think he's looking for like email submissions, which is again one of our favorite things to do. Organic traffic is always great, but you got to get it from somewhere. So, I would say email campaigns.
That's awesome. Anil, how reliable are in-house data sources on Taboola? Can you share some good data sources companies to work with?
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. They're not great. I would say the best thing that you can do and how we start our campaigns out is go run a network. Then you can actually see your conversions by audience and then break out those audiences in a separate campaign and test them at higher bid points. The age demos are pretty big. A lot of my products skew 50 plus. So we do demos that are 50 plus. I have some products that are only geared towards women, so we only geared towards women. It saves us a little bit of a, evaluation time and gets our bids down because the CTR is going to be a lot worse if I'm serving a women-geared ad to men, of course. So
that's awesome. Aman, why would one buy push traffic from Open or Taboola when networks like Propeller or Pushami do direct sell to same inventory at much lower rates?
It's just more traffic sources out there, like anything else. We buy push from most of those traffic sources as well. And is there overlap? I'm sure there is. but end of the day, it's just more traffic.
That's awesome. That's really good. Thank you. I have one more question. This one is from me. And, I know initially I told you this is going to be just like a half an hour, but you're so awesome. And we had all these questions. I couldn't let them unanswered. And it's just telling me that we need to be doing this more often and pick your brains because you're fantastic.
I appreciate that.
If you want, we have a lot of people watching. It's going to be way more people watching throughout the day today because, in some part of the world, we're just getting up and about. If you wanted to take one thing from today's speech, what would that be?
Number one key point is put in that actionable item early. If you're optimizing a campaign, have something where you're not, targeting a $50 CPA because you got to spend double the CPA per traffic source to make that work. So break it down, simple numbers, simple moves, be conservative and, look at the long term, not the short term. I'd rather spend a week making a campaign work than give all the money to the source in one day.
That's wonderful and really awesome. And also, all through the week, I had this question a lot from our partners. Obviously, we do, besides our team, we have a lot of affiliates that do Facebook. But this year, because it was more profitable for everyone, they're ready to try native. So, they always ask me, and, obviously I'm not the expert here, should I continue doing Facebook and just trying native in parallel, or should I just drop what I'm doing and focus only on native?
No, keep it all going. Absolutely. Especially for our agency-based campaigns. As native spend increases, their performance gets so much better on Facebook because their remarketing funnels are picking up. They're getting more likes in their campaigns. They're building an audience based on it. We directly link the like function to most of our clients' pages. So like us on Facebook, do this. A separate way you can remarket. The Google campaigns get exponentially better. What do people do? They go to type their product name into Google, look for a better deal. So have some kind of strategy built up for branded terms on Taboola. All that stuff is critical for a good remark or a good overall campaign.
That's awesome. Well, you have a lot of thank yous here. And if you want to share the slides with us, I'm sure everyone is going to love you even more.
Yeah, I'll send them over. You can feel free to share those.
Awesome.
Whatever.
Perfect, definitely.
And I'll send over that referral link if you guys want to check out Wizzy as well. Again, I know the owner well. He's a good guy, great service, and they've taken care of us pretty well.
Beautiful. And easiest, just put the referral link in the comments under our video because it's going to be live for the next 24 hours. I mean, on our Facebook page. So then all our friends can get access to that. And thank you again so much. You are wonderful.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you having us on.
Thank you so much. Talk to you later.